Welcome, Delta Traders. Let's ride the range of change. This Delta training video is called Charts 101. We'll be looking at an introduction to Delta trading software and the chart setup. Let's take a look at the agenda. The first question a lot of people ask is, what does delta mean? Well, delta is a Greek letter of the alphabet, and in mathematics it generally means change. It's a change in time or a change in value, or it can even be a change in value over time. In financial markets, the delta is very important because we purchase a commodity or a stock at one price and then we sell it at the other. The money that we make or the money that we lose is the difference or the change in those two prices. Therefore, it can be said that we are trading for the delta. We're going to be examining the charting screen, which is our main charting tool. Keep in mind that it changes over time, and it'll change for different reasons, but the biggest reason is for experimental purposes. And you'll understand that more once you understand the price action area. We will talk a little bit about Confluence, which is very important to our trading. And then we'll talk about the chart usage and the 30 days of training. Please keep in mind that the purpose of this video is not to show you how all of the elements of the charts work or to give you trading strategies. It's just to familiarize you with the screen so that when we do start looking at those videos and other training materials, you'll know what we're talking about when we mention a specific element. We'll be mentioning this time and time again. Trading, and trading well, takes superior knowledge, it takes superior tools, and it takes superior discipline. And part of that discipline comes through training. You'll be receiving over 30 days of training, of live trading, actually. And within that live trading, you'll experience a multitude of different techniques that will be used in different market situations. It can take many years to study these elements on your own. It can also cost you thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of dollars, or maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars to learn to trade. Delta Trading Group is just giving you a forum where you can accelerate that learning process and learn important things like money management and risk management. The fact of the matter is, no one knows exactly what the market is going to do next. You have to mitigate your risk and manage your money according to given probabilities of success or failure on a particular trade. These probabilities you'll learn over time, and they're identified by the indicators of the current market action and price action because they create patterns that are easily recognizable. It takes time and effort and study, but you'll get it. Let's take a look at our charting screen. But let me first reiterate that the charting screen will change over time. Right now, the charting screen has a lot of elements that it doesn't need, and a lot of elements that we don't actually use as a group, especially for the beginners. However, some of those elements are useful for some experimental studies that some of us perform from time to time. The most important area of the screen is the price action area. That's the big white area that consumes the entire upper right portion of the screen. It's comprised of the candlesticks, which are the green and red bodies. The candlesticks show the change in price. And in price action studies, this is the most and often the only important thing on the chart. All information can be derived from these candlesticks. In fact, a lot of hardcore price action traders that are very successful consider anything else other than candlesticks on their chart a big distraction, and they will only use the candlesticks. And the fact is, most indicators do lag behind what's currently happening in the market. So the bottom line is this. You're going to be learning a lot about candlesticks and a lot about how they indicate getting in and out of trades. Above or below the candlesticks, you'll see little red arrows pointing down, and you'll see green arrows pointing up. These are cycle forecast arrows. They help determine the end of a cycle, either the end of an up cycle, which is a bull cycle, or the end of a bear cycle. They indicate a basic change in direction. However, we don't trade on these arrows. We only use these arrows to help back up what we see from our price action strategies, which comes directly off of our candlesticks. This is called confluence. Confluence is when you have two different indicators that back up and support each other. and help solidify your decision in entering the market or exiting the market. Though we don't actually trade on the forecast arrows, we do use them to support the ideas that we derive from the price action and the candlestick interpretation. Behind the candlesticks, you'll see a faint purple ribbon. It may be hard for you to see at first. This ribbon is a trend map. Again, we don't trade the trend map. We only use it to support the idea that we may have a trend heading in a particular direction. Along the candlesticks, you'll see an orange line and a burgundy line. The orange line and the burgundy line are two different moving averages. One of them is a 90-minute moving average, and one of them is a 20-minute moving average. Again, we don't trade these moving averages, but they do give us some price points that we might want to pay attention to when we're entering or exiting a trade. Of key importance is all of the little lines that are connecting to the candlesticks on the top and the bottom, and you'll notice they have numbers attached to them. This is part of a Pesavento study, and it helps us identify trends and patterns in the marketplace that are very important to our exit and buy-in strategies. In fact, it can be said that Larry Pesavento is one of the world's foremost experts on pattern recognition, and he's been trading for several decades. As you progress through the group, you'll be utilizing pattern recognition more and more. Below the candlesticks, but still in the white area, you'll see some horizontal graphs. These graphs are a money flow index and an average true range. They're not important to the studies that we'll be doing when we're conducting price action studies. Along the left side of the screen, you'll see a tall vertical charting area. It has dozens of little colorful squares in it. That is a price histogram. We'll learn how to use the price histogram later. Again, it's not really important in the price action model that we'll be utilizing, but it's very helpful in looking at statistical trending of price over time throughout the day. Finally, at the bottom of the charting screen, you'll see three black charts. These charts are ergodics. There's a 10-minute ergodic chart, a 5-minute ergodic chart, a 3-minute ergodic chart, and a 1-minute chart. Ergodics are complex statistical averages. They're actually averages of averages. And though they do help indicate a trend over a specific period of time, they lag behind the actual live price action of the candlesticks. Just to recap, we'll be using the price action area with the candlesticks and the Pesavento study and the cycle forecast arrows to be identifying cycles, entrance points, and exit strategies to get in and out of trades, setting stop points to mitigate our risk, and all of the other stuff on the screen like the trend map, the money flow index, the average true range, price histogram, and the ergodics to a lot of hardcore price action people is just a bunch of noise. However, we can still use those elements as Confluence to back up or support the general trends that we see in the price action area. I hope you enjoyed this introduction to the Delta trading area, and I look forward to you being in the group and becoming a successful Delta trader. Thanks, and ride the range of change.